Good morning and happy Tuesday. Today we are going to work on lesson 23 problem set. There is no exit ticket, but there is a second page. So please make sure you complete both pages of this assignment. Problem number 1. Gail makes a miniature stop sign, a regular octagon. So when we see regular means all sides are the same every time we see that. So we know in this octagon, oct means 8 sides. All 8 sides are going to be exactly the same. It has a total perimeter of 48, and we want to know the length of each side. So this only works with regular shapes. When you are given a total perimeter, you can divide by the amount of sides, and it will tell you the measurement of each side. Again, you can only do this when all the sides are the same. You cannot do this for an irregular shape. You cannot do this for a rectangle because in a rectangle, 2 of the sides will be different. Let's look at problem 2. It says, Travis bends wire to make rectangles. Each rectangle measures 34 by 12. What is the total length of wire needed for 2 rectangles? So I'm not just after the perimeter of 1 rectangle. I need the perimeter of 2 of these. Oh man, I'm drawing some bad 3s this morning. There we go. So I know that 12 and 12 is 24. 34 plus 34 is going to get me a bigger number. Let's go work that out. That might be a little too much for people to do in their heads. So let's come and let's find out what that is. We know 30 plus 30 is 60. Always do your doubles first. 60 and then 4 and 4, 68. 24 plus 68. So now that I've solved that, I'm just going to move my 68 down here and stack it vertically so it's easier for me to do my regrouping. And so we have 8 and 4 is 12, carry our 1, 6 and 2, that's 8, and then one more, 9. So we have 92 inches for just one rectangle. But he wants 2. So that means we need to multiply 92 by 2. So I'm going to continue to show the break apart strategy for multiplying. Oop, I didn't want 92, I wanted 90. My bad, guys. Let me fix. So we have 90 times 2, and then we have the 2 times 2. So 90 times 2. Remember, move your 0, so then it becomes 9 times 2, 180. 2 times 2 is 4. 180 plus 4, we need 184 inches for those 2 rectangles. All right, let's look at problem 3. The perimeter of a rectangular bathroom is 32 feet. The width is 8 feet. What is the length of the room? So I know 2 of my sides, and I know that they come together with 2 other things added to make 32. So the first thing I'm going to do is take away my width. Now, I can do 32 minus 8 and then minus 8 again, or I can just do 32 minus 16. I can combine these 2 sides, and I can take them away from my total. And 32 minus 16, that's a doubles fact. That is 16. And now I have 2 sides that are remaining. So what we want to do, now that we have found the remaining lengths combined make 16, we have 2 sides that will add up to 16. But instead of subtracting random numbers, I'm going to go again and I'm going to split my number in half. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And we have just found something out that's kind of cool about this rectangle. It's not actually a rectangle. We have a different shape. What we have here is a square. So let's talk about why they called this square a rectangle for a minute. We touched on this in school before we went to spring break. And we talked about this really weird thing where every square is a rectangle, but not every rectangle is a square. And that is because squares meet the criteria for being rectangles. Because to be a rectangle, you just have to have 4 sides that meet at right angles and have at least 2 sides that are the same length. So that technically meets it. It's one of those weird things in math that gradually makes sense as you learn more about geometry, but is very strange the first time that you hear about it. All right, on to our last 3 problems. It says, Raj uses 6-inch square tiles to make a rectangle as shown below. What is the perimeter of the rectangle in inches? So here we get to do a little bit of skip counting because this is 6 and this is 6, that's 6, that's 6. So I'm going to do the shorter sides first because I always like to do my short sides first. This is 6, 12, 18. So from end to end right here, this is 18. And I got 18 because these are squares. In a square, all sides are 6, and I can go and I can fill them in. I'm just going to do it on the inside to keep my numbers from being too confusing. So we have 6, 6, 6 for a total of 18. So let's go ahead and let's do the same thing. That is a very crooked line. Let's do the same thing down here. And let's check out what our length is. So we're starting with 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Again, I reached 30 because this is 6, and that's 6 more, that's 6 more, that's 6 more, that's 6 more. All of these are 6 on all sides. So if that side is 30, this side's 30, and this side also has to be 18. All right, 30 and 30, that's one of my doubles facts. I know that's 60. 18 and 18, let's see. We'll do that over here because I know for some of us we're going to need to work that out and regroup. That's not going to be quite possible in all of our heads yet. So we have 8 plus 8, which is 16. And then we have 1 plus 1, which is 2. And then one more, we have 3. So we have 60 plus 36, which gives us a total perimeter of 96 inches. All right, let's take a look at problem 5. It says Misha makes a 4-foot by 6-foot rectangular banner. So it is 4 feet, 6 feet. She puts ribbon around the outside edges. The ribbon costs $2 per foot. We want to know the total cost of the ribbon. But in order to find the total cost of the ribbon, we need to find the perimeter of this shape first. So we have 6 and 6, that's 12. 12 and 4 more is 16. 16 and 4 more is 20. So now we know that they used, Misha used 20 feet of ribbon. Her ribbon was $2 a foot. So we're going to multiply it by 2, which means we're going to double it. So remember, 2 times 0, that's 0. 2 times 2, we have 40. So her total cost was, wow, I'm getting these little weird feet on my writing. Was $40 for the ribbon because it was 20 feet and it was $2 a foot. So she spent a total of $40. Colton buys a roll of wire fencing that is 120 yards long. He uses it to fence in his 18 by 24 yard rectangular garden. I'm going to go and label my sides before I do anything else with this problem. Always label your sides, maybe with 8s that look like 8s and not squiggles. Will Colton have enough wire fencing left over to fence in a 6 yard by 8 yard rectangular play space for his pet rabbit? So I'm going to make a little one over here for his bunny, and we'll deal with that one once we have finished our big rectangle. All right, let's go and let's find the perimeter for what's going on right here. So 18 plus 18, we did this on another problem, and we found that 18 plus 18 was 36. 24 plus 24. So a quick way of doing that mentally, 20 and 20 is 40. 40 and 4 more is 44. 44 and 4 more is 48. There is no need to do carryovers in your head. You can always work around them by doing the problems in little pieces. If you're working the problem out on paper, go for that carryover. So let's see what our perimeter is on this shape. So I'm going to go and rewrite my problem because I realized I didn't leave enough room for me to write this vertically. So I'm going to come right over here and do it again. We have 36 plus 48. All right, 8 and 6 is 14. Carry that 1. 3 and 4 is 7, and 1 more is 8. You cannot read the number that I just wrote. I'm not having a good time with this computer screen today. There we go. So we have a total perimeter of 84. We know that he started off with fencing that is 120 yards long. And he wants to know if he has enough left over. So this problem is a 3-step problem. The first thing you have to do is find the perimeter of the big shape. Then you go and you find the perimeter of the small shape. And then we're going to have to see if there is enough fencing for both of those. All right, let's start here. We have 6 plus 6, which is 12. 12 and 8 more is 20. And then 20 and 8 more is 28. So I'm going to write my perimeter inside my shape. I have a perimeter of 28. Now, I know I only have 120 yards. So I know that if I add 84 and 28 and I get a value larger than 120, I don't have enough. He's going to have to go back to the store and buy more fencing. Let's check him. So let's do 84 plus 28. We have 8 and 4, which is 12. We have 2 and 8, which is 10, and then we have 1 more. So he has 112 yards altogether between his fence and his little bunny hutch. And so he does have enough. He has enough fence. That is our entire problem set for the day. Have a wonderful Tuesday, guys.